don't really like horror books, but I'm going to be reading a lot of horror books because it's October, so. Hello Bookworm family, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'm Danny. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button down below. Chandler, don't play with that pen, it's not yours. And if you're not already following me on Instagram, please be sure to do that. It is at _dancing_bookworm. I post on there full book reviews and bookish content. So guys, September was a crazy month. I actually have a cold right now. I don't feel good, so this is going to be kind of a quick TBR. I am not doing any punishments for myself. I didn't do any of the readathons. I had planned to do 2 readathons, plus my Reading Rivalry group, plus my Bookardy last month. I did some of Bookardy and some of Reading Rivalry, and I didn't do either of the readathons because it was back to work and things got crazy and I had a ton of stuff to do in the month of September for work, and I just didn't have time to read. I only read 6 books for the month of September, so that was not what I planned. I had planned to read 16 books. So I'm just going to kind of talk about the books that I did read because I just don't really feel that great, and I don't want to go through all the books that I didn't read because I'm not going to do any punishments or anything like that. So let's start with the books that I did read in the month of September, and then we'll move on to my October reads. And like I said, this is going to be kind of quick because I don't have much of a voice and I still have to work tomorrow. So I don't want to waste it today and not be able to talk at work tomorrow. So yeah, let's do this quickly. So in the month of September, I read 5 physical books, which I actually did read most of these on audiobook, but I have the physical books to show you, and that's The Dinner List by Rebecca Surley. I did give this, I think I gave this 3 stars. Sweet Valley Twins, Teacher's Pet, which this book is kind of beaten up because it's a used book, but by Francine Pascal, and I did give this 2 stars. Bridge to Terabithia by Catherine Patterson, I gave it 5 stars. Fever 1793 by Lori Halls Anderson, I can't remember if I gave it 4 or 5 stars, but it was pretty high up. Dear America, Voyage on the Great Titanic by Ellen Emerson White, I gave 5 stars. And I also listened to Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo, which I gave only a 1 star. And I also listened to Charmed by Jen Kalanita, which I can't remember. I think I gave it a 4 star. So I'm telling you the star ratings because I didn't really vlog last month either because it was just so busy. But if you guys want full book reviews of like any of those books, it's all on my Instagram, so please go to at _dancing_bookworm, and that will have that on Instagram for the full book reviews so you guys can kind of see what I thought about those books since I didn't end up vlogging. But yeah, much less than the 16 books I planned to read, but not too bad for what I did end up reading. I didn't think I would get through. I read 7 books then, right? Yeah, 7. I thought I only read 6, but I read 7 books. Okay, that's not too bad at all, actually. So yeah, so I read 7 books, which was not bad, but it just wasn't what I had planned to do, and some of them weren't even on the list of what I wanted to read, so. But anyway, let's move into October TBR. So for October, I'm going to be participating in my normal Bookardy, which is my book game that I will explain to you guys in a second. I will also be participating in, my cat is going crazy every single time I film, my Reading Rivalry group, which is a Facebook group that's like a game where you try to read as much as you can to earn points, and those points try to get your team into the lead. And then I will also be participating in Trick or Treat-a-thon, which is a Discord readathon hosted by, I will put her name down below. I know her name's Megan, but I can't remember what her handle is right now. But that's on Discord, kind of YouTube, because some of her like co-hosts and like assistants for her are on YouTube, and then also kind of like Instagram. It's just kind of like throughout a couple different social media platforms, but it's mostly on Discord, this is my first time doing Discord, but I really wanted to participate in something Halloween-y because it's Halloween and I want to like enjoy the month of October as much as I can. So I will be participating in those things. I'm not really going to tell you the TBR for Trick or Treat-a-thon because I don't know how much I'm going to actually read for it, because like if you cover your entire bingo board, it's like a certain amount of points, but also if you don't have time to do that, like if you just get like a bingo, like that's also helping your team. So I don't really know how much I'm going to read for it, so I'm just going to tell you guys my TBR for Bookardy and for Reading Rivalry as my TBR for this month. So let's start off with Bookardy and get into the first roll.
I'm just going to film this part on my bed because I'm just too tired to want to do it anywhere else. So, roll number 1. We have a 1. So, it's Halloween, so let's go with mystery or thriller. And it is a new read, so just any book that I haven't read before.
So, for a mystery thriller new read, I'm going to be reading book 1, Unsinkable, of the Titanic series by Gordon Corman. So this isn't just about the Titanic. This is about a group of kids who are on the Titanic that discover a secret. And it's over a course of 3 books, and throughout the 3 books they're trying to basically solve this mystery that they've discovered on board, so it counts as a mystery. But I also put this down as a different prompt later on and didn't realize that I had done it twice, but it's not that big of a deal. But I'm going to be reading that for this one, and yeah, that's that.
All right, let's do roll number 2. A 4. Let's go. Sci-fi fantasy. A topic I don't care about. Oof, that's tough. Oh, hello, Chandler. That's not your dice, sir.
So for the role of sci-fi fantasy, a topic I don't really care about, I picked A Whole New World, which is the Twisted Tale book by Liz Braswell. And the reason I picked this is Aladdin is probably my least favorite Disney movie, which I know a lot of people are going to come for me. Just have never really liked Aladdin. But I do really want to read the Twisted Tale books, so I decided to read this one because, you know, it works with the whole me not wanting to read it. But this is basically if Aladdin never found the lamp, and I think it's like, what if Jafar did find the lamp or something like that. Like, yeah, Jafar suddenly rises to power because Aladdin doesn't find the lamp. So, but yeah, I don't really like Aladdin, so this is the one. This is the one I'm going to be reading as the topic I don't really care about.
All right, roll number 3. It's not your dice. Chandler Bing, it's not. Chandler Bing, it's not your dice. Chandler Bing, it's not your dice. Let's go historic. Chandler, it's not your dice. Okay, Chandler, it's not your dice. All right, Scribd recommendation. You are so naughty. So this has to be a book that Scribd thinks I will like. Get off the board, dude. Off the board.
So for historical Scribd recommends, I'm going on to Scribd, and I'm going to go under one of the historical books that I've read recently, and that was Fever 1793 by Laurie Halls Anderson. And I am going to kind of just pick a book from this list, and I end up going with Code of Honor by Alan Gratz. And this is about, I believe, an Iranian boy right after 9/11, and he's kind of working with like the tech group, I think, of the military. I don't know 100%, but that's kind of the vibe that I got from what I read. But yeah, I'll let you guys know more when I end up reading it. I've read an Alan Gratz book in the past, and I didn't love it, but I liked it. But it is like somebody in my past that I don't talk to anymore. It's like one of their favorite authors. And yeah, I've kind of avoided his books because it reminds me of that person. But I've been into historical fiction lately, and I don't know, he's got a lot of good historical middle grades, so I figure I'll just read it and just suck it up. And it's not the book that that person and I have talked about, so I should like it, hopefully, but it's also military-based, and I don't really care for military books, so I don't know if I'll like it or not, but Scribd recommended that I would, so let's hope Scribd is right.
Roll number 4. A 2. Can you get off, dude? Off. Thanks. Roll number 2. Or I rolled a 2, I mean. I'm going to go... Chandler, you're being so annoying. I am going to do... Oh, this is perfect. Is this why you're being annoying? Because you wanted to pick the book? Because you wanted to pick the book? Is that why? All right, well, we have pet pick for my annoying little pet here.
So for miscellaneous pet pick, this is kind of what I was talking about earlier, where I didn't realize what I had done, and I had already put Unsinkable on my TBR, and then also put it down for Chandler to pick from, which was a dumb choice. I don't know why I did that. I just wasn't paying attention, so obviously Chandler doesn't pick this one. Sorry for the spoiler, but I do end up reading it anyway. So you'll see that book down, but really he's picking between these two, which is Straight On Till Morning by Liz Braswell, which is a twisted tale book about Wendy, and instead of getting taken to Neverland by Peter Pan, she gets taken there by Captain Hook. And then Love is Love, which is an anthology, as a comic book anthology to benefit the survivors of the Orlando Pulse shooting. So this was like written shortly after the Orlando Pulse shooting, and it's comic book authors and illustrators. So designers, what is the proper term for that? Comic book illustrators? Is that right? Why does that not sound right to me? I don't know. I'm not feeling well, guys. I've already said that. So, but yeah, so that's what this is. So let's see which of those two, because you guys already know that the third one didn't get picked. But let's see which of those two Chandler picks.
Okay, we have the 3 book options and we have the cat. Now we have to see what the cat will pick. Stick my hand in this bag over here, grab out 3 treats. It's going to be a very quick situation because he knows what he wants. All right, I'm actually going to throw one and have him go get it first. Ready? Go get that, and then he can come back and pick. So it's a little bit more fair. All right, look, there's more treats. Which one? Oh, boy. Oh, good choice, Chandler Bing. Good choice. Good job picking the short one. Here, you get a treat because you picked the short one. Enjoy, Bubbles.
So he picked Love is Love, and I'm really excited about this one. I'm very excited to, like, see, like, there's so many different styles of art in here. Like, we've got, like, a Power Rangers, Batman-esque art looking thing. Yeah, it's Batman. I don't know why I said Power Rangers, but then we've also got, like, these, like, really, like, cutesy artists, and then we have, like, more simple. So this is very exciting for me. Like, I don't know what this is going to be like to read, but I just think it's very beautiful how all these authors came together, and artists came together to create a book to help benefit these people who were affected by the Orlando Pulse shooting. All right, provided Chandler allows it, I will be doing 2 more rolls. So a 5. Let's go miscellaneous. Sprayed or deckled edges. I know exactly what I want to read with this. So for miscellaneous, a book with either sprayed or deckled edges, I'm going to be reading Dear America, A Picture of Freedom, The Diary of Cleote, a Slave Girl, Belmont Plantation, Virginia, 1859. And you guys can see it has these beautiful deckled edges, as most of the Dear America books do. I've been really into Dear America books lately. And I just read the Titanic one last month, so I'm excited to read another one this month. And I really like that it's kind of like, it's just like true to the time periods always. And like with the Titanic book, I found like maybe like 1 or 2 things that I didn't think was completely historically correct as somebody who really like hardcore studies Titanic facts. But yeah, I mean, I think that they're done really well, and they're good little middle grade reads, and they're not terribly long either. They're nice and short. So this will be the one that I read for that. All right, last roll for Bookardy. A 3. Let's go. What haven't I gotten one yet? I didn't do a realistic. I didn't do a nonfiction. All right, let's do realistic. A book in memory of Dad. So because my dad passed away a few years ago, it's a book that would remind me of him. So for a realistic book in memory of my dad, this is going to seem really weird, but I have a story. I'm going to be reading New York Minute, There's Something About Roxy. This says it's by Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, but it's actually by Madison Oakes. But it's based off the Mary-Kate and Ashley movie, or it's written about the Mary-Kate and Ashley movie. Like, the movie came out and then they wrote the book. New York Minute. And the reason I picked this is my dad and I actually, I want to say this was like the last movie we went to see together as like the marking of my childhood. Like we obviously went to movies together afterwards, but like I feel like I was actually too old for this, but I had grown up on the Mary-Kate and Ashley movies, so I kind of made him go with me. But yeah, so it does remind me of my dad. New York Minute, every time I like see New York Minute pop up on like my to be watched things on Netflix and stuff like that, or whatever it's streamed on. It does remind me of my dad. And I honestly, I don't remember if we went to see it together or if we went to a movie theater and then he went to see a movie and I went to see this, but I feel like we had seen it together. I don't know. It might have been one of the ones, but either way, it just reminds me of my dad. Yeah, it kind of just reminds me of him, and like it reminds me of like all these like weird little kid movies I made him go see when I was like 8, 9, 10 years old, and just like would drag him to like these weird little kid movies, and he would sit through them and eat his popcorn and just be happy to be spending time with me. But New York Minute is about two sisters, Jane and Roxy, who Jane is like a goody two-shoes perfectionist and Roxy's like a rebel, who's got a truancy officer after her. And this one's specifically about Roxy, and it's something about like her with her band, and like they're trying to get to be in a music video, and it's just kind of like her story, not really Jane's story. And then there's another one that's about Jane, but this one's like more based on Roxy. So Code of Honor, A Whole New World, and Unsinkable, part of the Titanic series, all work as well for prompts for my reading rivalry. So Unsinkable works for, I don't remember which one it is. Unsinkable works for, a mystery, so that works out. And then A Whole New World works for A Twisted Tale, which makes sense because it's the Twisted Tale series. And then Code of Honor works for Gangs All Here, which is like, means it has multiple characters that are like helping each other, not just like one main character, which is kind of what it sounded like it was about. Like it has like a big band of people banding together, but if it doesn't end up being about that, I'll just pick something else to read for that, but I'm hoping that's what it's about. So then also for reading rivalry, for the prompt, a book made into a movie, I will be listening on Scribd to The Exorcist, which I didn't write down the author of that, but I should know the author. What's the author of The Exorcist? I don't remember who it is. Ugh, I don't remember who it is. You can see right here, but I don't remember who it is. That's really frustrating. But that is about a priest, I think, who is going to perform an exorcism on a young girl who is possessed, and it's a scary book, and I loved the movie. And I love classic horror movies. I don't like modern horror movies. They freak me out, but I like classic horror movies because I'm like, okay, that wouldn't happen now because we would just pick up a cell phone and call someone. But like modern movies, I'm like, oh no, they're on the cell phone. But yeah, so I will be reading The Exorcist for that. And then I have a character who goes by a nickname. So for that, I will be reading To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. I've been wanting to reread this for a while, and I don't know why. It just gives me fall vibes. I don't know if it actually takes place in the fall. I almost think it takes place in the summer, but it just gives me fall vibes looking at the cover. But this is about a little girl named Scout, whose name is actually not Scout. It's like Jean or something like that. I think it's like Jean Eloise or Jean something like that. But so her nickname is Scout, so it will work for that. But this is about a little girl who's living in, I think it's 1961, something like that. And basically she like lives in Alabama, and her dad is a lawyer, and her dad is representing a black man who is being accused of assaulting a white woman when that's not true. What actually happened is that the white woman fell in love with him but didn't want anyone to know, so they just said that it was an assault, and the father is trying to prove that this man is innocent. And it's kind of like her learning about racism and the wrongs of the world. And then for the prompt of high school romance, I'll be reading Spells for Lost Things by Jenna Evans Welch, and that takes place in Salem, Massachusetts, which is why I wanted to read it, because witchy vibes. And it's about a girl who she thinks her aunt was a witch, and she meets an outcast boy, and they kind of fall in love, kind of thing, but I don't really know much more about it. I just saw Salem, Massachusetts and witch, and I was like, I'm in, it's Halloween, let's do this. So yeah. And then for Small Town Living, I'll be reading The Clackety by Laura Sneff, and that's about like a small town that is got like the most haunted town in the world, and a young girl is like out to figure out the hauntings and stuff of this one specific house. Then for Be Your Own Boss, I will be reading Renegade Reporters, and this is by Alyssa Brent Weissman. And this is about a group of girls who were kicked off their school newspaper for being too like out there with their reporting, and they decide to open up their own, or I don't know, don't think it's a newspaper, I think it's a school TV show, and they decide to open up their own like YouTube version of their school TV show, where they can kind of make the decisions themselves. So that works for that. And then for Good Girl Gone Bad. So that prompt doesn't have to be a good girl character. It's just a character with two sides to them. I'll be reading Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson. And that is about a man who has like, I don't know, it's like DID or split personality or something like that, where one personality is Dr. Jekyll, who I think is like the nice one. I've never read it, but I think Dr. Jekyll's the nice one who like cares for people, and Mr. Hyde's the evil one who kills people. I don't know for sure if I'm right on that, but I think that's what it is. But again, Halloween vibes, that's why I'm reading it. And then the last book for Reading Rivalry is Skeletons in Your Closet, so a book where people have some sort of secret. And I'll be reading Curiosity House, The Shrunken Head by Lauren Oliver and H.C. Chester. This sounds really good. It's about kids who live in like a freak show kind of thing, and this new knife thrower comes, and ever since he comes, weird stuff starts happening, and they like learn all these like secrets about each other that's causing all these mysterious things to happen. So that is what I will be reading for the month of October. I'm sorry this TBR isn't very like detailed or anything like that. My throat just hurts really bad. I will be wearing a mask at work tomorrow. It is not COVID. I have taken a COVID test. I have taken multiple COVID tests at this point. But yeah, I'll just be wearing a mask at work tomorrow to not get anyone my cold. But yeah, it's just another cold. All the kids are coming in right now from school and stuff like that, just like little bugs, like your normal back to school bugs, and that's just kind of what I got. So it happens, but I'm just not feeling great. So and like I said, some of these books will be like, I'll have more books for my trick-or-treat-a-thon, but that's what I have for right now. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.
Wasn't that a great video? Clearly books make me very happy. Now you can make me happy too. Click the subscribe button to follow my channel. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you think I did good. And the notification bell will let you know when I post new content. Also, follow my Instagram for more book shenanigans.